Hi there, welcome back to the new video. And in this video, I will create a department dashboard for HR related analytics. And this dashboard you can create along with me within the Tableau as part of the practice. And we will see the different KPIs that we can create along with the various charts that will highlight some of the reasons why the attrition may be high in that department. So think like this is the HR analytics dashboard that you are creating, which is helpful in identifying the patterns from the attrition perspective. Along with that, we will show some key information in the form of the KPI so that the department head or the department director is more aware about what is going on within the department at a high level KPI perspective, and then deep down into the attrition, which is one of the reasons why they want a dashboard. You are showing a couple of charts for them. So first of all, let's understand the data that we have. So we have this data, which is again a CSV file, and you can see that age, attrition, business travel, daily rate, department, distance from home, education field, employee, all of those different fields and their respective values are down there, which we will going to import into the Tableau. So going back to our HR analytics department dashboard slide, first of all, the KPIs that we want to create. So the first one is average attrition count. So before we even do any KPI or anything, first thing is importing the data. So let's go ahead and import the data. All right. So here we are in the new Tableau, as you can see, workbook and text file. Within that we have HR analytics data, and this data set you can find in the description section. Now, once I have the data inside over here, as you can see, HR analytics data set, and this basically shows all the different files in that folder. So here we have all of these columns like age, attrition, business travel, daily rate, department, all of those ones which I was showing you in the front end Excel file or the back end Excel file where actually the data is residing. And you can see there are like a lot of fields which are over there, like for example, marital status, job role, job satisfaction, monthly income, monthly rate, so on and so forth, right? And at the end you have columns like years in current service, year since the last raise, or year with the current manager. So all of those fields that we have, and we will see step by step some of the questions related to this data set, and we will going to explore it. So first thing is I need to go into this sheet 1. I accidentally created sheet 2 by clicking over here. So sheet 1 is so if I just go back and see the average attrition count. So right now what do I have is basically in dimension all of these dimensions like attrition. So attrition is not a measure, but if you see average attrition count, so to take a count I can take simply like this and filter the value where the attrition is happening, or I can create a calculated field. So what I mean by that is you can just simply go over here, create calculated field, and I will say attrition hash just to indicate that count, and I can simply write an if statement. If attrition equals to yes, so that field contains yes or no, then 1, else 0, 0, end. All right, so this calculation is valid. I can click OK. So along with attrition as a dimension, I also have an attrition as a measure which I can use into anywhere wherever the measure I need to use as a part of attrition. All right, so the first thing that we have is basically I'll take a measure name over here in the columns, and measure name as well as in the filters. So I will remove, first of all, say none, and I'll take attrition, and over here attrition, and I will put the measure values over here, and now I will change this to this table. So if I just clicked over there, yeah, it's changed to table. Now after that, what do we have is basically average monthly income. So I'll just come here. Now what we don't have is basically the measure name. It has removed this, and measure names over here, so none, attrition, and monthly income. So monthly income, if I click apply and click OK, and I will again take this measure values, text, and transpose this. So now I have the attrition count, the actual count, which is sum, and the monthly income. Now the monthly income I cannot take total, I need to take as average, right? Just to have the representation of all the data points. But attrition I can take a sum, because anyway the count is less and we want to know and interested in taking the exact count. Now if I take measure, there is always a good practice to check it with the median, and median indicate 4919. However, measure average indicate 6506. So there is a huge difference, and you need to have a subject matter expert, or as a data analytics person, you can basically look at the range of the average monthly income and see whether 6503 is the better representation of the income, or the 4919, which is almost like $5,000 if I'm not wrong, is the true representation. For now I will take median. Now let's take another one, which is average age. So what do I need to do is simply come over here in the edit filter, age, which is average. Right now it is sum, but we can come over here and change to average. So right now whatever we are developing is at the entire company level based on the data set that we have, and which indicates that there are, like, on an average the age is 37 for if we look at all the employees that is present in this data set, and the attrition count is 237, and the average monthly income is almost $5,000. All right, let's move on, and now let's see the average working years. So I'll go back and edit number of years, number of records. All right, if I go total working years, all right, that's the variable of interest, and this should also be the sum, the average. So total average working year is 11 when we consider all the employees that is present of this part of this data set. And finally, I believe that's the last one, we have average years in the company or at the company. All right, years at company. So I'll just go again here, edit the filter, years at company, click OK, and again we need to take average for obvious reasons, average, which is 7. So average total working year is 11 and average years at company is 7 for all the employees that is present in this data set. Now let's see what do we have next. Next we have chart, and that is attrition by job role. All right, so attrition by job role is something that has been discovered as one of the chart we need to create for this dashboard. So just go back, attrition by job role. Okay, so what do we have is job involvement role. If we can't search, we can simply come over here, and here we have job role. So I was searching it incorrect, it is in the dimension. So job roles is something I'll take in rows, and the attrition count over here, I can change this to something which is more meaningful and easy to interpret. It's like bar chart in this case, and I can sort it, and it's pretty apparent that laboratory technician is the job role where you are having the high attrition, followed by sales executive, research scientist, sales representative, human resources, manufacturing director, healthcare representative, manager, and research director. So if somebody is asking what are the top 3 categories where we are having most attrition, these are your 3 job roles. And what are the bottom 3 categories where you are having the attrition, then these are these 3 roles. So that's how we can answer. And if we can, if you want to paint the picture like this, that shows it for the entire data set, which probably contains the entire company's data. Alright, so once we have this, we can move on to create a new sheet and come back here and see attrition with respect to years since last promotion and years in current role. Alright, so let's go to this, and so the first one is years since last promotion and years in current role. So years since last promotion and years in current role. And if I come over here, that's the chart that we can produce, and go to analysis, uncheck the aggregate marks so that we will have all the data points over here. Uncheck this. Alright, so this is like years since last promotion and current years in the current role. This is the data points that we have got. So now what do we have here is the attrition. So what I'll do is I will put the attrition on color, and you can see some of the colors are highlighted with the attrition. But the problem is that some of the other attritions are hiding behind these data points. Why? Because when I was exploring this, I checked this, and when I clicked on yes, you will see all the data points that are coming related to the attrition. So what is happening that they are hiding. So basically the blue top data points are on top of the orange data points. And if you see how I could see that, because in this case, I'm not sure with this video whether you are able to see this or not, but when I'm directly looking at the screen, this data point, this data point, or this data point is relatively having the lightweight or not that bold as compared to this data point or this data point. So when I compare this data point to this data point is having much more boldness, or it's like highlighting, it's getting highlighted a little bit in a different or in a bolder way. So when I did the selection on yes, I could clearly see some of the data points which were hiding behind the blue circles. So that's how I could clearly see some of the patterns over here. So one of the interesting thing is so year since last promotion, so 0, 1 and 2, and this is years in current role. This is like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this particular section is something of your interest, right? Reason being is these are new employees and very recently got promoted, so they are leaving, maybe probably because of a better salary, or because maybe they are like new, they want to try more creative things. Maybe there can be a number of reasons based on the exit interview and all, you can figure it out, but this is clearly an area of concern. The next area of concern is probably this cluster over here, which indicates that people are leaving when they are in current role between 7 to 9 years, and they are in the and their last promotion has happened anywhere between 3 to 10, or maybe like 4 to 7 if I'm trying to be more strict, only up to this particular piece. So these two clusters are definitely getting highlighted and probably worth of some more investigation. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Attrition relation with the years with current manager. Okay, so attrition versus number of years with the current manager. So we have this data point. That's how I have formed the question. So years with the current manager and the attrition that we have. So we have a couple of options, like we have this chart. Doesn't truly reflect what we need in terms of sum of attrition and year of years with the current manager. So if what I'll do is, if I just change this to here and say this is the dimension and sum of attrition, and I can change the chart to sort of a bar. All right, so here with the current manager 0, and there is a high percentage of attrition. So if I just sort, okay, so discrete. All right, so now here with the current manager 0 and the highest percentage or highest number of attrition, followed by when the number of years are 2, 7, 3, so on and so forth. If I just sort it, this is how. So 0, 2, 7, 3. So 0 to 2 is like 0 is like 80%, or 0 to 2 is like 80% of the cases, and 80-20 rules goes in this way, which is a Pareto principle also, that 80% of the 20% of the values are basically contributing for the 80% of the reasons. So that basically implies this principle, that what's really going on with these two categories. And once you can improve this will go in a long way to curb the attrition percentage within your company. Now this is one chart, but once we have changed it to the relevant values, I can have even this chart as well, which is again a pretty intuitive chart in terms of what is going on, but it is up to us what chart we want to use. This chart is also one of the nicest representation, clearly indicating that here with the current manager is 0, that means the person is new and they are leaving. Similarly with the category 2, not as much as with 1, which is also a surprising thing, but that's what the data is revealing, that if the person passes the first year, that's pretty sure that in first year they will be with the current manager, but as they move on, that means they are spending more time with the current manager, they are leaving the company. All right, so that's what we figured it out. I don't know what's really going on behind the scene, but that's what data is telling us. Now let's move on to the next one, and the next one is basically the attrition relation with number of companies worked with job role. Okay, so job role, number of companies worked, and attrition. So let's go to our sheet, and we have the number of companies worked. So number companies worked, and if I just go back, job role, role is over here if I'm not wrong. Yeah, job role, and the attrition count. What do I have? If I just take this away for now, all right, and if I take this and this, I'm just trying to find the right chart. So what are we getting is basically job role. So attrition count, hold on, attrition count and number of companies worked. Let's take it over here. And if I say analysis, uncheck this. Number of companies worked and attrition, pretty straightforward, doesn't reveal anything. Why? Because these are the two categories. So what I need to do is basically I was hoping sum, and if I just go here, sum is something which I wanted, and let me change this to a dimension for now. So still this is not revealing a lot of things. So if I just remove this and try to add it again, sometimes it gives issues. And if this is taking sum, and if I take job role, nope, nothing happens, nothing very revealing, which I was expecting. Alright, no worries, let me try in a different way. And that is what we had is the attrition count for the job role, and we have just created this, and this is something which we have already seen, the laboratory technician and everything. So this is the attrition and measure a sum. Let me try here with the number of companies worked over here, and if I just switch it like this and put the job role over here, and for better presentation, let me see if there is anything which is coming for me. So still I'm not getting. Let me try with a new sheet over here, and over here also I will just try to repeat with what I had is this. All right, going in the right direction at least. And if I just add again the number of companies worked, which I was hoping to get the sum, and I'll put the role over here. So first thing is what is the attrition count and number of companies worked. One information is like this. Laboratory technician is definitely the one, sales executive is another one, that how many number of companies they worked. And but this is something, taking sum is again not right. Having an average will make a lot of sense. Average number of companies worked, right? And then the total attrition. In this case, again, sales executive and laboratory technician is coming. And if I just take that's what I've been getting. So that's again one of the representation by the job role, and taking both the sum of attrition and number of companies changed. And in this case of research director, the average number of companies they have worked based on this job role is 3.73, which is like almost 4, and the attrition count is just 2. So they are having the good stability. Now the one last thing which I will try to have a better representation is converting it into a dimension and having the area chart. Yeah, this is something which I was hoping to get it earlier also in this sheet, but somehow the sheet was acting weird. So this basically indicates a much more clearer picture over here, which is showing you the sales representative followed by the sales representative, sales executive, the research scientist. The number of companies, the number of companies they worked is just 1, but the attrition count is high. And then you have manufacturing director followed by manager, laboratory technician, and so on and so forth. So a much better picture representation, and it's clearly indicating the number of companies worked 1 when they are this is the situation. Then the attrition count is high. That means people are shifting in this scenario a lot. So again, a reason why you should, or why we should go look much into this and see what we can do in reducing the attrition over here. So as you could see, we saw a lot of different things, like this one, the number of years they are staying with the current manager, and then year since last promotion and year in current role, and then based on the job role. And in sheet 1 we created some of the KPIs. So what we can do is finally we can collect all of them and create it in a dashboard. So first one is definitely the KPI, and I will just remove the sheet name. I double clicked over there and I removed it. Sheet 2 is basically a chart. All right, and sheet 3 is another chart. Okay, and then we have sheet 4 as another block, and then this particular sheet, right? And what I'll do is I will just keep this, not this one, but yeah, if I just select this, this will be the only select. But if I select yes over here, all the attrition will be selected. Okay, so I want to keep this, and what I want is in sheet 1, let me add the department as the filter, show filter, yes, here, and if I come here, filter, department, I keep multiple values drop down, and I put it at the top where I like it. Personally, I like it at the top because I feel that the accessibility is better. I mean, pretty much at the top. Keep on changing the value and see the result. Similarly, I will just put it over there beside to it, and the job role also, if we can put it like this and drag it a little bit here, drag this little bit here in case they want to see the job role. One can clearly see from this. Okay, so you can make this also as a filter if you want, but for now I will just keep this. And one last setting which I will do is apply to worksheet, all using this data source or selected worksheet, which is 2, 3, 4 and 6, the sheets which are over here, or all on dashboard. So click OK. Now if I go ahead and wants to see for human resources, these are my KPIs for human resources, and this is basically the human resource. If I just say yes, this attrition clearly shows for human resources for year since last promotion and year in current role, along with the human resource manager is the only one job role which is present based on the data we have, and this is the attrition sheet. And this is basically, again, it shows in the current year or years with the current manager is 0, the highest is the contribution, the attrition. Now if the research and development, much better values, much more job roles over here, and it shows another picture, sort of similar picture over here as well. And finally you can go and check for sales, and shows you how the attrition and the KPI looks for this. Now the only thing is if I just drag this little bit so that they are coming over here, and we can format it to have it central. So if I just right click, if I can get it here, no, so I can go to the sheet over here and measure names over here. If I format header and coming over here, the option of alignment, and make it like central, and now it looks much better. If I go to dashboard, it will be selected by default. If I want to create more space, I can just drag them a little bit up, and this is how the information looks like. And one final thing is you can do is double click over here and remove the sheet names or give them some meaningful name that reflects all the dimensions and measures that we have used. Right now I'm just simply removing it, but yeah, control X, removing it and giving the visualization much more space. Now one can have like a divider over here like this, or you can have much more information like some spark lines, some KPI dot notation based on the thresholds. So attrition, what is the threshold for attrition? For example, if anything is going beyond 30 is yellow, and anything which is going beyond 80 is red. So for a department, what are the thresholds, and based on that you can show it over here. So maybe in a different video I can show you that how you can put those signals or the lights over here. Not only this, you can have the background as well as highlighted one, or maybe the font of this value as a highlighted one. So a lot of different things that one can do, but that only requires the control measures. Control measures basically going to help us add more and more interactivity into it. So maybe for a different video I will keep that point and develop some hypothetical or based on my assumption some measures and show you over here. So for now I have this for you. You play with the data which is there. There is a lot more that one can do in this data. Trust me, I mean, we can form n number of questions that we can answer with the help of this data. So I will try myself to figure out more and more questions so that we can practice. But yeah, if you think you have some questions, please comment it in the comment section and let me know what question you have related to the dataset, what you have solved, what is unsolved, what question you would like to answer, and things like that. So that's about it, and I'll meet you in the new video with a new topic.